Level 15, Futuristic Halls. Class 0, Safe, Secure, Devoid of Entities. Description: Level 15 is a series of futuristic hallways with occasional pitch-black areas created by the absence of any lighting. The sounds of engines can be heard from afar when traversing through these hallways. These noises are coming from machines that are located in large rooms, closed off by reinforced doors made out of metal. A part of the wall of these rooms are made out of thick glass. These machines range from the size of a laptop to unmeasurable dimensions. The noise they emit don't seem to be affected by their size. Some machines have clear tasks which are easy to notice, like producing steel rods, but most of them don't seem to have an easy one, with some of them not having any front rooms equivalent whatsoever. Rarely, one may stumble upon a room that contains machines that have been destroyed, machines which appear to have been exploded or broken due to unknown reasons. It can be theorized that the cause of these explosions is a lack of maintenance, since nothing seems to be preventing them from breaking down. The glass on the wall of these rooms appears to have been shattered, but not broken, indicating that it may be composed of similarly laminated glass. This level is thought to be infinite. However, this is only an assumption, since it might be simply too large for a power measurement to be made. Thus far, it's been verified that it covers a surface area of at least 6,080 kilometers squared. You can find more of the value in the discovery part of this article. The rooms and hallways are made of a white or gray concrete, with beams of white steel lining the walls and ceilings. Long symbols, which look like arabesques, can be found inscribed on the beams. These appear to only have a design purpose. Large lights on the walls, ceilings, or ground give an eerie glow to these empty halls. The only thing that is breaking the color scheme of this dried out blood and bodily fluids that can be found alongside corpses present throughout the level. These corpses seem human, but the manpower inside the level doesn't allow for proper dissection, identification, or removal of these corpses. They are dressed in lab coats, and the causes of death seem to be from violent fights using different kinds of weapons. Makeshift knives and spears can be found alongside some corpses, but no firearms have yet to be discovered. Even though some bodies show clear signs of gunshot wounds, despite the absence of bugs to help with the decomposition process, the corpses seem to have lost enough water to indicate that they have been here for several months or even years. Several kinds of rooms can be found in this place. The engine rooms have already been mentioned, but other ones exist, which appear to be laboratories, dormitories, kitchens, and control rooms, as well as storage containing food, water, or numerous types of equipment. Almond water is notable by its absence of the entire level, and the majority of these rooms are empty and devoid of furniture, while others have been the theater of intense fighting. Computers can be accessed and can connect to the ILN, Interlevels Network, or equivalent of the internet in the front rooms. These computers are running on unknown versions of Linux, which is called Avalon 2.4. They are hosting files that appear to be written in an unknown language, a language that is currently being studied and researched by the Cygnus Order. However, it is known that some of these files are journals, mails, studies, or manuals about the aforementioned engines and machines and their tasks. No entity has yet been discovered inside the level. However, numerous corpses of hounds were found piled up in a room that seemed to have been used to cremate a large number of undefined objects. Discovery. Level 15 was discovered when a wanderer entered it during an event that occurred in level 10. More about this in the entrances and exits. They entered it only to see it in a large control room, which they used as a camp to explore further. After 2 days, the door slammed shut by itself and hasn't reopened since. The wanderer, who we will call Enric from now on, has effectively been stuck in this level since the door has never reopened by itself, and no other way out or in has been found to this day. 2 years went on since Enric's arrival at this level. He explored a portion of it, still using the main control room as his principal camp. Using the computers, he was able to contact the groups and provide proof of the existence of this level, as well as keeping a weekly update of his progress on this place. These updates can be found on Enric's personal website. He spent the first year exploring the area, By his estimations, he has covered around 6,080 kilometers squared during that year. The second year was dedicated to looking into the files and technology more in depth, but sadly no breakthrough, allowing him to exit this level, was made during these researches. His mental well-being has been one of our prime concerns during all this time. Thanks to the constant availability of the ILN, we are able to stay in contact with Enric and provide him with books, music, games, and other distractions to allow him to set his isolation aside for some hours. We're also able to get him able to contact his family on level 11. Overall, he seems to have coped well enough with the situation, but he has still requested to be followed by one of our psychiatrists to make sure that he remains sound of mind throughout the entire time he's spending within the level. Bases, outposts, and communities. The only known base on this level is Enric's, which has been set up inside a large control room and has existed for around 2 years as of now. Traces of other camps have been found while exploring this level, but they are all abandoned, and have seemed to be made by the persons who can all be found dead around the level. No other traces of wanderers have been found thus far. Entrances and exits. It is extremely hard to get into and out of level 15. Only 2 ways have been discovered and recorded as of now, aka the 14/2/2021. The first one is accessible during an event that has only occurred once during the recorded history of the Backrooms. A large wall made of the same materials with a similar design as the one from inside level 15 appeared inside level 10. It stretched out into the distance without a visible end. Enric, as far as we are aware, was the only one discovering the door that led into the level. Without preparation or contact with any group, the wall disappeared 2 days later, trapping him inside. However, some documents found by Enric in the computers allow us to theorize some sort of explanation for that phenomenon. A recording of one of the scanners can be accessed on the terminals found on this level, and can be displayed under these lines. All of the devices displaying these scans are consistent across the level. They are all showing the same thing at any given time. Different objects will appear across the screen, and some are linked with green lines. But when 2 shapes overlap each other, they are highlighted in green. Most of these objects are moving at a constant rate across the screen, and only a few of them have been seen accelerating or slowing down. No orange line has been seen changing during their time on the screen. The shapes that have stayed immobile over the 2 years that Enric has looked at the center one and the small circle located on the right part of the screen. We can notice how the orange lines that predict the shape's movement are displayed only when those shapes related to them are on the screen. This behavior is similar to that of green lines linking the objects. These are only displayed if both objects are on screen. The first theory is that level 15 used to be a space station and that these objects were moving around it. This theory is elegant at first, but because of the aesthetics of the radar, which closely resembles those found in spacecraft. However, this theory still leaves a lot of questions unanswered. What are those links? Why are objects that cross each other being highlighted in such a way? Why isn't the small circle having a trajectory? Furthermore, the trajectories of some objects are strongly not matching the ones of objects that will be in space. A second theory attempts to link this radar, including its scan, with the event of the apparition of the wall in level 10. It says that the objects displayed on the screen are levels. That green lines are the connections that wanderers can make to traverse across these levels, either through no-clip or doors called allow for access to a new place. In that when shapes overlap, it means that 2 levels have collided into each other, resulting in levels no-clipping into each other, making parts of said levels appear in one another. Something that is still unsure if this radar is merely a simulation or if these levels are moving across that flat plane. This theory is strongly supported when Enric was able to find what appears to be another exit, presumably an exit to level 15. One can be represented in the radar by the green line going from the center into the small circle on the right of the screen. It is theorized that this green line linked to a strange room that was found 2 hours away from the main camp. That room was in appearance identical to the one that contained engines and can be found throughout the level, but it has a notable difference that cannot be found elsewhere. All of the engines in the room appear to be missing, and a door frame leading to what appears to be an empty void of space can be found in the back of it. The door frame glows a soft, white light and appears out of this world, if it means anything in the back rooms, and it doesn't have a door in it. What's beyond the frame is looking like a night sky. Distant luminous dots can be observed. A large sphere of clear blue light can be observed in its center. It appears to be still, and it's suspected to be a star. More observations are needed to be able to identify more information about it. Thankfully, a strong reinforced door leading to the room itself seemed intact, preventing a depressurization of level 15. Despite this, Enric was asked to spend a little more time as possible in this area as may be possible for this object to have irradiated its surroundings. While this seems to be a way to enter a new, undocumented level, it is not viable to attempt exploring it. We are currently hoping for another event where level 15 can be accessed for somewhere else to be able to get Enric out of this place.